So I got the Summit Brewery Spring Sampler.
Spring?
I'm being optimistic.
The hell did they get spring shit out yet?
I don't know, but it was like the beer of the month, so they're running like a 12er for $10.95. And
show me potato salad.
yeah, we got we'll start with the Extra Pale Ale, because, that's one we've...
Extra Pale.
EPA. So, EPA all day.
Wow.
No? Just a little too fruity for you?
I'm not going to necessarily say fruity, but it's definitely something for me.
A little too much fruit in that salad?
Hey. Alright, let's get this done.
Let's get this done.
Start this off. I left my lighter, aka bottle opener, at home. Alright, here. So you got anything to talk about?
Not really.
Wow.
This is gonna be like...
A freelance.
Yeah, it's gonna probably be bad if it's just a freelance, but hey... we lost last week's fucking epi.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
It was since...
the greatest song in the world.
Since it's not published, it was the greatest
This is
episode.
just a tribute.
Yep, this one is a sad tribute to that. So what did we talk about?
Oh.
Should we try to replay it all?
No.
Of course not.
I do want to talk about one thing, though. Have you heard about this whole controversy that Seth Rogen started, apparently, when he tweeted about that American Sniper movie?
No, I did not.
He actually and I didn't think that this was so controversial. I actually just thought it was more or less a comment that somebody would make about a movie. But he said that movie, the Clint Eastwood one or whatever, is it called American Sniper?
Yeah, because it's the one based on the book of fiction.
Chris Kyle.
The book of fiction.
Yeah, that's already been proven to be bullshit. But he tweet out something along the lines of, when watching this movie, I strongly thought of the movie that was made, or the propaganda movie that was made in Inglourious Basterds. That was the tweet that he put out. Something along those lines. Basically, how it was like that propaganda flick that they had in Inglourious Basterds of the dude just shooting people out of the bell tower. Like one right after another.
Yeah, see, I'm not that familiar with Inglourious Basterds, so I wouldn't have got the reference.
Basically, he was just saying it's the Nazi propaganda flick. You know what I mean?
Basically, they made the movie that was parodied in the other movie.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And, I mean, he didn't go so far as to say, well, this is a Nazi propaganda piece, or, anything like that. He was saying it reminded him of that. And it probably being Seth Rogen had a lot to do with a joke in there as well.
Absolutely. And how hard is that to make a connection? There's a parody of a fucking propaganda piece, and then guess what? In real life, there is a real propaganda piece. They're not that hard to connect.
But after that, I'm going to say this, though, that Michael Moore got into this as well. And the funny part about it is...
How the fuck would he land on this?
The funny part about this is I'm going to have to read you the tweets, because he did 2 tweets in a row, and I want to read you the tweets that he did just before I tell you this. This was what he actually fucking chimed in on, and I will honestly tell you that I lost so much of the little respect I had for Michael Moore.
Yeah, I used to like him when I was younger.
The guy's a pretentious douchebag now. He really is.
He calls for everybody to give their guns away, but he has armed security guards.
Not only that, but he tries to make it seem like he's the Joe Everyman with the fucking hat with the hair sticking out the back and everything like that.
His Michigan.
I noticed that you never really are hurting for anything anymore, so you've sold out just like the people that you apparently made your documentaries about in the first place. That's neither here nor there. But the tweet that he started out with was, "My uncle killed by sniper in WW2. We were taught snipers were cowards. We'll shoot you in the back. Snipers aren't heroes. And invaders are worse." And then his second tweet after that was something about... Oh, they don't have it up here anymore. But the second tweet was something about how he It was saying that the heroes in any of this kind of story would be the guys that were fighting on their rooftops of their home instead of an invading force. So, like, I'm not kidding you. I can't remember it word for word, but he literally said the people that fight for their homes are the heroes. The people that fight to push them out are the invaders, or something like that.
Yeah.
And he got just hit hard on this one. I'm not kidding you. There was literally over 1 million tweets that came in on top of his. And then, after that bullshit, he releases a tweet saying, "Oh, well, I wasn't trying to talk about the movie. Everybody just assumed on that. I didn't know they were talking about the movie. I just saw all the sniper talk, and I was thinking, this is what I was taught when I was a kid, is that snipers are cowards."
Regardless, it still applies. If that's what you believe about a sniper, then why wouldn't you believe that about a movie that's supposedly, and I use supposedly loosely, like, or accurately in the aspect of...
Okay, well, let's just put it this way. He was a sniper, and he did have confirmed kills. So at least some of the movie is true. But he was a sniper, and he did have a lot of confirmed kills. Now, some of those confirmed kills probably didn't happen. In fact, they were proven that they didn't happen. And some of the stories that he told on that. But it's not like Hollywood was going to tell the real story anyway. It's always based on a true story. And they can still have that in there because Chris Kyle was a sniper.
Yeah.
And he did have confirmed kills. So as far as Hollywood is concerned, this is just as fucking real as it real gets, no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter if they came out and they said, well, this whole fucking thing is just bunk. He only had 1 confirmed kill. It's still true story as Hollywood's concerned. You know what I mean?
That is true. I suppose I'm holding Hollywood to a little too high of standard.
Yes.
And what are they supposed to do when the fucking movie is basically wrapping up shooting when the verdict comes out that he lied about the Jesse Ventura thing and so on and so forth. But I don't know, that's just right there, you get zero respect from me.
Well, the best part about it is, you know who Dean Cain is, right?
Superman?
Yeah, the TV show Superman.
Yeah.
This is what he puts back, because I guess
Didn't he have a TV show about snipers or something back in the day?
I don't know.
No.
But, because Michael Moore is actually at Flint, is what his name or his handle, I don't know what you call it.
Does he live in Flint, Michigan? I
don't
fucking doubt it. I bet he lives in a penthouse in Washington, D.C.
But Dean Cain puts back, at Flint, disparage, hashtag Chris Kyle, to my face. He's like, just all caps in this one. We'll see who a coward is. Hashtag disrespect, hashtag coward. And then, because, this was Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen actually put down, American Sniper kind of reminds me of the movie that's showing in the 3rd act of Inglourious Basterds. That's literally what his quote was. He didn't go any further than that. And Dean Cain came back with, at Seth Rogen, Seth, I like your films, but right now, I want to kick your ass. Chris is an American hero, period. Go to war, then we'll talk. Just thinking... out of all the tweets that have come out in a lot of different places and all the stupidity that's been tweeted around, and I don't even fucking tweet.
Yeah.
And they do this shit all the time in the news now because tweeting is such a goddamn common thing that they post the tweets and then the comments back.
Yeah,
so I'm starting to figure out what tweets are without ever tweeting myself.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of pissed about it because now people are going to want me to tweet, but I'm not going to do it.
No.
Anyway. Like Sarah Palin's tweeting on this that they're real American heroes and no. Like,
I don't know, but as a person that comes from, both my grandparents, or grandfathers, I should say, were in the military.
Yeah.
I was, and, dealing with, like, my dad's friends who were in Vietnam, I was always under the impression that the true heroes never glorified, exaggerated, or even talked about their experiences. People that actually saw the shit.
Yeah, the majority
the fucking National Guard cunts that were sitting on the shore fucking saying, oh yeah, I was there fighting them, the Nazis.
Well, the majority of the people that we knew were more or less, well, until recently anyway, more or less Vietnam vets. And that's a little bit different story just because the majority of Vietnam vets didn't like talking about it or reliving any of it because they were in hell when they were there and then they got hell when they came home. So most of them didn't like talking about it, or just kind of got conditioned not to talk about it because everybody at home was pissed off with them for some reason.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there is a different story when it comes down to the whole aspect of the vets that we knew growing up and everything like that. Growing up is just because of that. They had that silent code just because it was kind of taboo to speak about Vietnam until a lot longer. I mean, yeah, I'm sure they probably talked about it after the whole taboo thing lifted 20 years after Vietnam. But, yeah, it is a little different, because a lot of them didn't talk just because of that.
Yeah, and I wonder how many fucking cases of stolen valor there were during the Vietnam era.
Yeah.
Probably not many. Where people, like, dress up and pretend they're soldiers to get fucking first-class plane tickets and shit.
Well, you also got to be thinking about this way.
Because they get spit on, they wouldn't get a first-class plane ticket back then.
In Vietnam, the casualties were a little bit higher than 1 in 500. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they also didn't have the entire mainstream media apparatus set up to be a cheerleader for their mission.
Well, let's just look at Desert Storm for a second. Wasn't there like 8 casualties in that the whole thing?
Exactly.
And we took the country in, what, like 20 hours or something? It wasn't even a full day.
Well, we didn't actually take it because Dick Cheney's security and defense didn't have his money where it needed to be.
Exactly. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like 20 hours and the country was just like, no more.
And right there, that same war brings back to the point about the mass media fucking brainwashing, is that's where CNN was born. If there was not the Gulf War conflict, CNN would not exist.
Yep. And now they just exist to exist.
Yeah. That is just a joke. I don't even watch that shit anymore.
No, it's
just anybody.
It's just as stupid as Fox News is, but people actually do watch Fox News.
Do people even watch cable news anymore? Like, you're looking at what their highest rated show maybe gets 4 million viewers a night? That's chump change.
Really? You think they get that?
I mean, their top rated show, whichever it might be, you know, between the circle jerk of Hannity Combs and that Cuvoto or whatever the fuck his name is, Neil Cavuto.
Yeah.
And fucking Bill O'Reilly.
Do you hear that there's this internet petition that's going on right now that they're trying to get Rush off of the air?
Why? But how? How couldn't do that as an American? How the fuck could you even think about supporting it?
Yeah, that's what I thought. You can take your petition and shove it down your fucking throat because now you're trying to censor free speech.
Yeah, I don't give.
Yeah, he's a douchebag. Yeah, he speaks all the wrong shit that anybody should be saying right now. Yeah, he's a divider. Yeah, he's just one of those people that literally cause panic. He's one of the guys that, if it was legal, he would walk into every single room and yell fire just to see what happens.
Absolutely.
He is that douchebag. So, yes, I understand you don't want to listen to him ever again, and yes, I understand you probably want to hit him in the head repeatedly with a large piece of wood.
Yeah.
But how can you say that he doesn't have the right to speak on an air or anything? Like, even if he's on a ham fucking radio.
Well, yeah, because if he doesn't have the right to be on the radio, you don't have a right to your petition.
Yep.
So, what the fuck are you doing?
Yep.
You're being an idiot. Get the fuck out of here. Go back to God, whatever bumfuck country your ancestors migrated to America from, and go live under their tyranny, you cunt. That's what I say to that.
Instead of putting that petition on there, I'd really want to put a petition on there where I could get interviewed by Rush Limbaugh.
That would be fun.
I would love to be able to be interviewed by Rush Limbaugh.
Have you ever tried calling in?
No.
Even when you worked from home and you had just time to kill?
No.
You should have just sat there and tried to get on the radio and then just. He'd probably hang up on you, but...
Oh, yeah, there would have been no way that he would have actually spoke to me once I...
It would have taken you...
The first time I would have said, do you have any proof to back this up?
The best part is the first 5 times you call, you wouldn't make it past the screener, because until you figured out what key buzzwords you needed to say to get on air. Liberty!
Yeah.
Damn Arabs! Keeping my guns.
I could
Fuck
see,
Obama.
I could see that, the screener. Alright, we're gonna do a pop quiz. Just say whatever pops into your mind first.
Word association.
Ronald Reagan. You know, like...
Jesus.
I'm not sure how I say this, because it's not really a word, it's more of a...
Have you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
Yeah,
it's like in the suitcase.
He just opened it up and everybody took a look. Yeah, I could see that. That would be hilarious. It would be fun just to try it again on that show, just to go through the screeners and have them be like, you again. This time I think I got it.
Yep, every time it's something different.
Try a different voice or something.
Yep.
Until the one guy's like, dude, you know we have caller ID and we log who we call.
Oh, shit.
No, this is not him.
You know, yeah. Just...
I got this line yesterday. You know, like... That'd be great. Just to fuck with them.
Just to fuck with them.
Yeah, I don't think I could do anything over the phone with him, though.
You want to be face to face?
Oh, yeah, I want to look in his eyes and when he's trying to pump shit down my throat.
Yeah, because he can't hang up on you if you're right in front of his face.
No, he can cut the air, but he still can't get rid of me right off the bat.
Well, that means he's got to cut himself then.
Exactly.
Or he just cuts your mic. Close up.
Close up.
Jimmy, close up. Because doesn't he simulcast?
I think so.
Yeah, they always show him on the news where he's sitting in that giant fat boy chair.
Yeah.
With his gold mic. Yep, just jowls shaking with the breeze.
Exactly. That is so disgusting. I never want to see him rant in slow motion. I just gotta say it right now. That'd probably make me throw up.
Could you imagine the poor girls that climbed underneath that fucking Slavin bitch? For what? He must be hopping them up, like blowing Oxycontin up their buttholes.
That's what I want to be interviewed by him, just to ask him that question, though. Still on the pills and still think that we should throw every drug user and dealer in jails and throw away the key like you said? Because noticed you didn't go to prison.
Yeah.
Noticed that you just got a fine there, huh, Chief?
Yeah, that lack of pigment really helped you, didn't it?
Yep. But, yeah, should we still do that with everybody else, though?
Yeah.
Because you seem to be full of all the answers.
And wasn't the maid you were using illegal? No, I'm just kidding. You want her to self-deport, too, or what?
Let's get real here, though. How many hookers have you killed?
That would be so funny. Just have just benign conversation. All right, let's get down to brass tacks here. How many hookers have you actually?
Oh, that just to hear him do the that's my favorite thing. That might be the only cool part about listening to Rush Limbaugh is that whole like bark thing that he does when he gets a little too excited. It's actually kind of funny. A little endearing.
All right. And think I'd ever hear Rush Limbaugh as endearing before.
Yeah, that's where the joke was.
Oh. Sorry, that went over my head.
Oh. Yeah, I could go on and on for hours about how stupid that man is. But brilliant in his own right, because, God, he's made a lot of money off of being a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, that's how you usually make money in this country.
The boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, I don't know. The very first exposure I ever had to him was just my dad criticizing him. And so he never stood a chance for me. And then I actually did listen to him once, and I'm like, yeah. Even if I was conservative, I'd find this insulting to my intelligence.
You know what's the saddest part about it is? And I've actually put some time in thinking about this one. He is actually crazier in what he speaks to mass audiences than Sarah Palin or Michelle Bachmann. Like, the shit that... We've had this discussion before where I think I have to believe that they believe what they're saying, because if they're spitting that knowing that it's bullshit and they still say it, they literally, if there is such thing as a soul, have none and will have it stripped from them if there is an
Yeah,
afterlife.
because that's the only way that you could be that misleading.
Yeah.
Is if you truly believed it.
Like
Or
I
you're
said.
pure evil.
Like I said, he's the
Yeah.
kind of guy that I would literally say would run into any building and just yell fire if he could. And who knows, he probably has and then paid the fine and gotten off on it anyway, because he likes to break the law and then tell people not to.
Exactly.
So maybe he has done this quite a few times, and maybe that's the Drew Carey joke of, I love speeding when it's raining. That way when the cop pulls me over and goes, "No, I pulled you over," I can look at him and go, "No, I was speeding. You're standing in the rain." It's kind of the same thing, like Rush Limbaugh, I believe, would be that guy that would just do that to anybody he possibly could just to see the look on their face when they go, "Did you just fuck me over for nothing?" "Yes, I did." "And that's all you're going to say about it?" "Yes, it is." Fuck you, man. You know, like, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see him doing that. The weirdest part about it is somewhere in this world there is somebody else who's like his kid and that thinks he's the coolest shit in the world, and what he, taught them was awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's why I'm saying he most likely is probably just shoveling shit down everybody's throat. 'Cause
For
I
a
don't-
paycheck, baby.
Yeah, I don't
Just like
think
Glenn
anybody
Beck.
could actually think the way that he does about a country and then still want to live there.
Yeah. Like, Glenn Beck's the exact same way.
Not nearly as just...
He's more wholesome, almost, in his
I was
hate.
going to say tyrannical.
Not as tyrannical.
Yeah, because,
yeah.
I mean, Rush Limbaugh talks like tomorrow is Armageddon from this country because Obama's gonna fuck us all, and tomorrow, he's gonna take everybody's guns and start enslaving us, and we're gonna have the robots come out and they're gonna put tubes up our asses so that we think it was an alien, and then, he's just one of those guys where every single day you look at it and go, what the fuck, man? What the? This isn't even real. Like, none of this that you said. The only thing that's been true this entire time is I'm Rush Limbaugh. The rest of this was just fucked from the get-go. Like, everything you say is just pure and utter bullshit. I'm surprised he doesn't just start going into the conspiracy theories of, like, the Zionist movements are actually the chameleon creatures, the lizard people, and...
Oh, that's so cute. You're trying to talk conspiracy.
I know.
And you're way off on all
I'm
of
just
your
saying.
references.
I'm just saying. He's probably, he's gonna do it one of these days.
Yeah, well...
He's running out of material, man.
That's
You can
true.
only stay crazy for so long until you turn, high in Scientology.
I have no idea. If I knew what was going on in that dude's head or where he was going to go next, I would murder myself. Because that would be a dark, sad place I'd be residing in.
Yeah. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. Let's move it to a happier topic.
Rush Limbaugh isn't happy?
No.
Oh, okay.
He makes me upset and angry.
It makes me a little less hopeful for the human race.
Exactly.
Or maybe not a little less hopeful. Maybe I just don't have as much spirit for the human race to continue after knowing him.
Exactly. The ultimate birth control.
He's pretty much the reason I don't want to have a kid, because I feel so pissed off every time that I hear him. I don't want to have to subject another being to that.
Yeah, that's the rough part about existence. Gotta deal with all the assholes that come with it.
Yes, you do.
The key, I really think the key is, though, is you just need to find a good niche of people. And then start a commune and start raping each other.
I did not see that. Ironically, that was the alternate ending to Mighty Ducks. You didn't think Disney had it in them, did you?
Nope. I knew that pedophile Walt did. That
Oh,
fuck.
God. Let's start raping each other.
So did you have a good hockey day?
Oh, yes, but before we do that, I actually got Leon one thing the other day.
What's that?
When I just, out of the blue, I was just thinking of, I wasn't out of the blue thinking of it. I was thinking about it for a long time. Just the whole difference between Christianity, Judaism, and Muslims and stuff like that, and the beliefs. And then, the thought popped into my mind that the Quran talks about how a wife should never say no to a husband when he wants sex because that's her duty, is to have
Fucking
sex.
A!
And so I was just thinking about it, I was like, that's kind of fucked up. But then just the random thought turned into a, fucking spoken word, where I just looked at Leah and I was like, we should turn Muslim. And she just, she's watching TV and she just looks at me and is like, what the fuck, turn Muslim? And I was like, yeah, then you could never say no to me or if I say I want sex. What the fuck is that? I was like, that's literally what the Quran says, is that your wife can not say no. And she goes, you are so fucked up. And I was like, yeah, I know. I don't know why I was on that kind of topic, but we're turning Muslim.
Starting tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm getting up at 4:30. Where's Mecca again? We should get this shit dialed in before the next
Woman, get me a
prayer.
Quran.
Yeah, I can't. I have a Quran. Because I did an event in California where it must have been some Muslims because there was Qurans there.
Well, I don't know too many other people that carry Qurans. So.
I don't know, but I ended up with a book of fucking Mormon as well through my travels of this world. Well, actually, some Mormons helped dig me out of some snow, and then they gave me the Book of Mormon. I haven't read it yet. The dude's number's still in it.
John Smith.
No, whoever the guy is that wanted to recruit
No, I'm
me.
talking about the Book of Mormon written by John Smith.
Yeah, another great work of fiction.
Yeah.
Like American Sniper. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, this one's even better. The whole aspect of...
At least...
I'm going to put this in a hat, and then I'm going to put my head into it.
At least Kyle was a sniper.
Yeah.
This dude was not the prophet
He
of
was
God.
a convicted con artist before he was the prophet John Smith.
Enough con artist talk. Rush Limbaugh. John Smith.
Yeah, no doubt we're just jumping from one asshole to the next.
How was your hockey day? Let's move on to a lighter subject.
Oh, it was great. Had me a 12-pack of beer sitting there.
Did you start drinking at 8 a.m. when coverage began?
Oh, no. No. I started drinking around noon.
Nice.
It was a good time. Yeah. Watching them all in comfort, I tell you what.
So the military propaganda was a lot more out there on TV, I would suppose.
Yeah, they had a cargo plane behind the bleachers where they actually outfitted it as a recruiting office.
See, I didn't go into it. I saw it, obviously, because I was there. And then we sat at the bleachers at the end. The first game we sat at the side that was on the opposite of the benches, but towards the Laverne goal. And then we switched sides, obviously, because it was fucking windy. Mm-hmm. And so we tried to get as far out of the wind as possible. But yeah, we saw, they had some grizzled-ass helicopters, like the troop transport helicopters.
Chinook.
Those things are fucking awesome. I didn't go in them because they had tons of people, waiting in line.
Yeah.
And of course, I thought you had the best line when you texted me. You're like, I don't think this is Hockey Day, Minnesota. This is Military Recruitment Day, Minnesota.
Well, they did. They had all the major militaries out there in that recruiting, in that airplane. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
I'm glad I didn't go in there, because I probably would have said exactly what you told me, your tagline, because I thought it was brilliant. And you know me. I have when I'm in situations like that especially, I have a knee-jerk reaction just to say stupid shit that offends people. Because you're one of those people. I think you're the one that made me this way from hanging out with you so much. I had no other choice, apparently.
I do that quite often. I love my favorite nowadays, especially since I've gotten older and I don't really want to have all the confrontation, because it does actually embarrass Leah when somebody says, "What the fuck did you?" And stops and makes a scene like that. I find it funny. But Leah gets a little embarrassed about it. So now, my favorite is to just say something under my breath just enough so they can hear it, but you just mumble it a little bit so it's like they shouldn't have heard it, and then I see the reaction. Because then they do that shit where they always look and give you a dirty look and then to the person they're with. And then the person they're with, like, look over the shoulder and looks at you, and you're just like, ha, they heard it.
Yeah, but it wasn't so loud that they had to, like, defend themselves, because their pride wasn't assaulted because they just kind of heard it offhandedly. It's like nobody else overheard it, so nobody else thinks I'm a cunt.
Oh, I did it today.
How?
At Target. We went to Target, and we get out of the car, and I do the double pump on the lock on the keychain, and it does the hunk, even though you only need to hit it once. I always hit it twice, I don't know why, like everybody else does.
Yeah.
And this chick gets out of the car, and she's got two young girls with her. She's on the cell phone. She's yelling at the kids. She hits the damn lock, and it goes, honk, 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 honk. I was like, oh my god, did she just do that like 7 times? Like, are you kidding me? And then, so I was talking to Leah, and I just went, hey, did you lock the car? And I said it loud enough, because she was a little ways ahead of us.
Yeah.
And I said it loud enough for her to hear it. And all of a sudden, honk, honk, like, she hits it again! And I could not, I actually, like, she was like, oh shit, did I? Like, I couldn't believe it. She's still on the fucking phone yelling at the 2 kids, and she's locking her car like 10 times. Then I had to say, does she think, like, shutters are coming down or something? Like,
what does she have in that car?
Exactly.
Fucking gold bullion?
Oh, yeah, it was pretty good, though. I thought that was... I could not stop laughing, and that's what I'm talking about, is Leah doesn't like it when I make scenes like that, because then she's uncomfortable, because I'm laughing hysterically, and everybody's looking at me.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And I'm just like, she fucking locked her car done. So, yeah, that kind of stuff happens, and shit, it just happens, but it does get her a little embarrassed.
There's some pretty good games for Hockey Day, because usually they're blowouts.
Yeah.
Because I pretty much have gone...
It seemed like a couple of them where they fucking scored quite a bit.
Oh my... I thought the first one...
8 goals in a period?
Yeah, Laverne versus St. Thomas. Or not St. Thomas, but...
Because it was 5-3
Johnson.
at the end, wasn't it?
No, it was 5-4, because I think they scored 8 goals in one period, and then they maybe buried one more. Or was it had to be like 6-5?
No, because, nobody scored the first period.
Yeah, I know, because they scored like 8 goals together to be like 4-4. And then it had to ended up 5-6.
I thought it was 5-3 after the second, and then they came back in the third and scored another 2 and tied it up.
I really don't remember.
I don't remember it either, but yeah, they scored a shitload of goals in the second. The second was the shit to watch.
Yeah.
Because that was just a shooting paradise.
Because we got there a little late because Tony had to work until like 8:30 in the morning. And so then we buzzed down there. So we probably got there with 13 minutes. When we actually got to our seats, it was like 13 minutes left in the first. So we didn't miss much. We missed 4 minutes.
The first was actually pretty boring.
It was very boring.
Yeah.
And
it was like they were both feeling each other out for all 20.
Dude, that number 22 for Laverne, the defense...
beaten.
He had the grizzled flow.
Yeah.
Just that long, because he was like Cherlander Pong or some fucking weird name like that. He's definitely
he took a beat in that game.
Not a native of Laverne.
No. But he did. He took a beating. He got quite a few hits that game.
Oh yeah,
he's their captain too.
Yeah,
so
it was.
They were targeting him.
I loved that flow. It was great. And then the grizzled ass like camo unis. I thought those were sweet.
Weird.
You thought they were awful?
I thought they were hideous.
I like Johnson's because they were a maroon. So it looked a little cooler than the bright blue of St. Thomas and the bright green of Hill Murray.
No, I don't
in the
like
second
any
game.
Of them. I didn't like any of them. They were just... they were hard to look at.
See, they weren't. I'd imagine on TV they'd be annoying, but it really didn't bother me live because obviously it's just an annoying shirt. Like, it looks like I was watching fucking college football or something with all their stupid ass uniforms.
Well, see, and the worst part about it is when they'd like zoom in and you would see all of them going back and forth like that.
Yeah,
and
that would be.
It was like one of those things where all of a sudden your fucking eyes would go out of whack for a second. You'd have to do that hard blink and come back, and that one eye would do the circle and shit.
It's like you're watching Japanese seizure bots cartoon.
Yeah, putting the coin on the epilepsy thing where it just goes around in a circle. That's what your eye was doing after a while. It was just one of those things where no, there it goes again. You know, it was fucked up. I didn't like watching it at all. It was just when they did the close-ups like that, it sucked. When they actually backed up and you could just see him on the ice, it was okay.
That was a pretty sweet venue that they had with like the old fucking whatever that's called, the tower and that building, like the stone building. I'm not sure the history of it. I probably should have researched it while I was there to be a little more, but...
Bring your flask and everything?
No, I went fucking sobered it up, dude. Didn't even... I had brewery...
Soberly-tober?
Yeah, I was playing it good. On the straight and the narrow.
Wow.
Because I tied one on, obviously, the night before with you. So I was hung the fuck over. I felt like just absolute shit in the morning. I was so hung. And then, so, basically watched the 2 games... And then for the girls' game, we just ditched out and we went to a restaurant. We buzzed down to Invergrove Heights and found this Mississippi pub. It is legit. It was this weird place where you like bust off the main drag and like drive down. It looks like I'm going to take somebody to get murdered.
Nice!
And it's like on the Mississippi, I believe. It should be, considering it's St. Paul. But it's like a marina. And then it has, like, this little-ass fucking restaurant and bar. And it's, like, right across the river from, like, this oil refinery. So it's just a strange fucking place. It's almost like a scene out of True Detective or something like that, you know? Fucking one of them creepy-ass places. But, I don't know, they had great grubs, so that's where I had a couple beers there and shit like that. And then we went back for, because this year, out of, you know, the 8 previous years, they've never had 4 games. So they had another one at 7:30. It was like St. Paul Academy versus Rochester Lourdes.
Oh, okay.
And so we went back for that. And that was dead. It was probably because I've been to 6 out of the 9 years of Hockey Day, and that was the biggest crowd I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, they kept talking about it, that attendance was up so much this year from the last, and...
Well, it doesn't hurt that it's in St. Paul.
Yeah.
They were in St. Paul the 3rd year ever of doing it, and that was the very first one me and Tony went to.
Well, you got to think, though, that the majority of the teams that were in it, that's basically hometown.
Yeah.
I mean... So you gotta...
And it wasn't...
A lot of those guys had to travel 20 minutes?
Yeah, and it wasn't as big of a deal back when they did it originally as it is now.
Yeah.
Because now it's just... I mean, obviously every year Tony and I talk about it, where we're like, oh, it's so much more corporatized this year, and all this bullshit, and... Because they used to have, like... The town that hosted it, it was like the youth hockey organization put it on.
Yeah.
So it had that hometown flair of whatever that community was about. But now it's gotten so commercialized that they have the profession, you know, like the event coordinators come in and they just fucking use the exact same logo.
The ads on the board.
Yeah, they have the exact same logo every year. They just change the location of it. Which was stupid, because they used to have, like, fun little nicknames. It'd be like, Showdown in Hockey Town, and shit like that. You know what I mean? Now it's just like, I suppose they tried to come up with one this year. It was Tussle on the Tarmac.
Yeah.
I'm like, go blow it out your ass, buddy.
Out the ass on the tarmac.
But tickets were only $20 for the whole day, so that's not outrageous. Because the one year that we didn't go... when it was in Minnetonka, because it was too warm, so they had to put it inside. They were charging $40 for the whole day, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go spend $30 at the craft beer expo the same day and get shit faced." That's what I did.
Yeah, I don't know. They were even doing it on like more commercialization on TV. There was ads all over the fucking place
really?
that they would superimpose on the windows.
Oh no, I hate
Yep.
that. That is my biggest pet peeve. Next, it's gonna be goddamn adverts on the fucking jerseys.
Well, that and they kept making mentions for everything else, like in the National Guard and the Air Force, and
Yeah.
we're on a live runway, and it's kind of hard to keep your attention on the game every now and then because there's all these planes, and it's just like, okay, we get it, man. You're not paid to do that. Fucking talk about the game, jackass. You're not, nice. You're not. You're not supposed to be talking. You're not a recruiter, douche.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Quit trying to get me to join, or like, just tell me who's scoring the puck, or shooting the puck. Because fuck you, I don't care. That's why I'm not there buying into this bullshit.
hey, I bought
I'm
into
watching
it
for
sir.
hockey, son of a bitch.
That is true. That is true. I made this Pioneer Press, their website. I made it in a photo. It's a sweet ass photo where the kid from Johnson is taking a little wrister, got his leg lifted, all cocky, like, ching! But the puck's going right to the dude's chest. So the goalie should actually save that photo because it would probably been a save. But they have it where it's kind of at an angle from behind the goalie, and it shows the kid shooting, and like right above the goalie glove, it's like me, Tony, and Tony's girlfriend just sitting there in the audience, just like, hey, watching it. I'm like, sweet. I put it as my wallpaper on my computer at work. I was like, yeah, it's a grizzled photo of a hockey day. And then plus it's got me in it.
Plus, it's got me in it.
So it makes it even better.
Yeah, this was the 6th year in a row that the Minnesota Wild have won on Hockey Day.
Dude, did you watch the golfer game?
Yeah.
Did you see that huge, like, little tussle they had into?
Yeah.
Just like, goalie gets into it, the whole 9 yards. They absolutely trounced Wisconsin.
Dude, I watched
That was so good.
the Rangers in Philly the other day.
That was that a beat 'em up brawl?
Or, no, I'm sorry. The New York and Pittsburgh the other day. Not Philly. But I was watching that, and it was a pretty good game. And the best part about it is Leah goes, why are you watching this? You usually don't watch anything unless it's Wild. And I went, yeah, but this is a good rivalry, so these guys go at it pretty good. And we started getting into that conversation of, like you did earlier, what games would you actually watch? And
Yeah.
Philly and Pittsburgh's, I guess, but
Yeah, I'll take that too.
Pittsburgh and New York Rangers, that's always a good rivalry. They always put on a good show. And they did not disappoint this time.
Yeah.
But when I told her the funnest game to watch at any point in the year, whether it's the first game of the year or the last game of the year, it has to be Boston and Philly.
Yeah.
That is one of the oldest rivalries because of the fact of the Boston Bruisers and the guys that called the Philly Flu.
Yeah. The Broad Street Bullies.
Yeah. If you caused the Philly Flu, yeah, you were hated. So when Boston was just like, all right, you want to play that way? Boys, introducing my new squad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bunch of fucking savages with no teeth from
Yep.
French Canada.
And the next year when they went at it after those the Philly Flu came through, then you had those Boston Bruisers just fucking everybody up just like Philly was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that cemented their hatred for each other when everybody was kicking everybody's ass. You know what I mean? When you had bench clearing brawls because everybody on your team was fighters. That's how you know you got a good fucking rivalry going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of the games that if I can watch it and I know it's on, I will definitely fucking watch it.
Yeah, because Wednesday nights on NBC Sports, I'd say probably once, twice a month are good because they do the rivalry night,
Yep.
and they do pick out legit rivalries, but sometimes just for fairness sake, They have some pretty weak rivalries.
Yeah, they do.
Like San Jose versus Arizona. No kidding. I'm not sure that's a real rivalry.
I don't think so. I'm not sure either. No.
If it is, San Jose's probably on the winning end.
San Jose's pissed off that they have their Mexicans or something. I don't know. Holy shit, that was good. I like that.
Did you see the Wild lost in a shootout?
Yeah.
Daggers.
Yeah.
Dubnik got double D. Devin Dubnik.
He's in again?
He got pulled 7 minutes into the second period.
Really?
Fucker gave up 4 goals on 10 shots.
Holy shit, and it still went to a shootout?
Well, yeah, because Kemper came in and shut him down for... Well, not shut him down. I suppose they scored... Red Wings scored 2 goals in the first. We scored 1. And then Kemper came in... Oh, I suppose after Dubnik gave up the other 2 goals in the second period. And then he shut him out the rest of the way, and we actually buried 3 Genos in the third.
Nice.
Yeah. Fucking Parise got 2 Genos tonight. Vanek. Koivu finally gets on the Geno train.
Oh, it doesn't matter, dude. He's got like 19 assists this
I know,
year.
but only 7 goals now.
I don't care. When you're throwing biscuits to people that are putting him in, I mean, he's almost 20 assists now. He might be 20. He probably is 20 now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he got an assist.
If Parise was on board twice, he has a good chance of having a double point.
Parise's fucking second goal, the tire, was unassisted.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I want to see the preview of that, but they didn't have it. Or the highlight preview of it.
What are you going to do?
Get a better fucking internet provider. I should go to Comcast. Sorry, that was a little... This episode is brought to you by Comcast.
Yep.
Ditch your shitty cable provider today. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's great.
They better fucking pay me for that.
Now they're going to sue you. This message not endorsed by Comcast.
You pick out a sponsor. What do you want to be sponsored
put
by?
a disclaimer in on that one.
What do you want to be sponsored by?
Sam Adams.
Cheers. Well, we're not drinking Sam Adams. We're drinking Summit, the St. Paul brew.
Well, it's because I had no say in it.
But it's local. And it's the beer of the month at Westside Liquor.
Yeah, when you gotta do it, you gotta do it.
$10.95 for a 12er. I couldn't afford not to get drunk tonight.
That's true. At those prices, they're just begging you to.
Yeah.
Please take this off my hands.
They erected giant stores to house this. The least I can do for society is go and use those buildings.
Well, yeah, I look at it and say, if I don't buy it and it gets wasted, what's that say? I'm just, making a bigger carbon footprint that way.
True.
So if I don't drink it and they have to dump it out, come on. Do the math here, people.
Exactly. There's sober kids in China.
In a little while, if they have to dump out all that beer, what's our fucking river structure going to be? It's going to be like all beer.
Ooh.
They're just dumping it right into the river, you know what I'm talking about?
Do we sacrifice now for greatness later? To have rivers of beer.
Rivers of beer.
Do we... That's like where that test for the psychotherapist...
You just gave me a new idea that if I was Bill Gates rich on what I would do with my money.
Yep.
Rivers of beer.
But that test...
And rafting.
But that test
Don't
for
you
the...
fucking pee in my beer river.
Whenever they give the kid, like, the marshmallow, they're like, if you can wait 10 minutes, I'll give you another marshmallow. And, like, most of the kids will just be like, fuck it.
I have
one now, you cunt. You're an idiot, you left me alone with marshmallow. Give me the whole bag and we'll see who's got a tummy ache in 20 minutes.
But who's happy now?
But yeah, it'd be like that. Would you be able to sacrifice not drinking beer so that in like 30 years there'll be an abundance where they will make rivers of beer?
This is the marshmallow. I'm gonna drink the beer. So you don't learn too much even growing up.
Nope, not at all.
I'm just hoping that beer goes the way of oil and they start producing more and lowering the price.
Well, you think they would with all the goddamn breweries popping up everywhere, but the shit seems to be more and more expensive as you go on.
Yeah.
There's some places fucking charging, $10 for a 6-pack.
Yeah. Oh, fuck that. There's that one kind that I just saw pop up in all the liquor stores around here called Skull Splitter. It's a Scottish beer. And that one's $16.99 a 4-pack. Because, they're the...
Oh,
and they're
shit.
the 11.2 ounces or whatever.
Yeah, so look, you only need one, and you're gonna get a little tuned up. Because what's that about? That's pretty much a glass of good wine.
Yeah, they're on par with wine over there.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
But that's only 12 ounces of wine. Bitches drink bottle after bottle of fucking wine.
Oh.
And they're bitches.
I can't. I really hate wine drunk.
I've never gotten wine drunk, so I have no idea.
Well, I'll take that back. I don't mind wine drunk. The problem that I have with getting drunk on wine is that it's one that creeps up on you really slow and then just slaps you in the face. You're stupid drunk. And then the next day it's just one of those lingering ones where you feel so dry the next day that you drink a glass of water and woo, you're drunk again. It's the comeback drunk. I've only gotten drunk on wine twice, and like I said, it hits you so hard that I didn't remember to fucking go and drink a shitload of water before I passed out. So the next day, you're so fucking dehydrated from that shit. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I was so used to drinking, so much beer.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, oh yeah, I'll have another glass, because it goes down like that after you get a little buzz.
That's why I always enjoy the whiskey water. It keeps you hydrated.
Yes.
That's what all the water's for, dude.
Yep. Goes to the same place.
Fucking A, dude. Gotta stagger it. One whiskey water, one water. That's called marathon drinking.
Yeah. Wow.
What?
One whiskey water. That's marathon drinking, huh? One whiskey, two whiskey, three whiskey water.
That's gonna be the new bus song. Fuck 99 bottles. I like that. That's a good one. That's a good one. So we need a whiskey company to sponsor us so we can make it their jingle.
Oh, exactly. Have some big star sing it or something like that. Be hilarious.
Taylor Swift.
Yep. Oh no, that'd be hilarious.
Let's have whiskey fucker and then break up with her. So then she'll write her own jingle for it.
The best part would be to have some hardcore rapper or something rapping. One whiskey, two whiskey.
Fucking T.I. Little Wheezy.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Good times.
Had but none.
I'd have a good time with that. I don't know about you. You must not like that, but we're not of one mind on this.
No.
I think that would be fucking hilarious.
Only if I was high on zero.
Thought you were just talking about whiskey waters.
Well, how else am I going to write a jingle about whiskey water without drinking some codeine
Some
cough syrup?
scissor.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I'm a fucking artist. Who do you think you're talking to? One of them goddamn Gentiles?
The heathens. Tisk. I'm sorry, Your Highness.
Fucking A, man.
Remember, you're not on your stool this time.
Yeah,
Or
shit,
should
I'm
I
not-
say soapbox?
Yep. I'm not as tall as I was. But I still command respect.
Man. Oh.
Strike down upon thee. Sorry. I wasn't going to recite.
You going fucking Pulp Fiction on me, huh?
Yep.
Wow, I did the old man squeal there. Do you hear that?
Yep.
Shit on that.
Or the rabbit from Winnie the Pooh. So
I like that guy.
have you seen the movie The Equalizer
The Equalizer.
with Denzel?
I have not.
Dude, you need to see it. It's so good.
You need to quit telling me what to do. I live my own life.
You know what other movie you should see? Varsity Blues. I want your life. But no, the
No,
Equalizer.
I'll watch that again just to see her in the bikini.
Yeah, but Equalizer is great. It's you know the preview. Have you ever seen the preview or whatever? The gist of the movie.
Uh-huh.
Basically, he's like a dude that works at Home Depot
Yes.
and like equalizes shit, man.
Well, no, he's ex whatever hitman or whatever,
Yeah.
and then he retired, and now he works at Home Depot. And
But my favorite part about it is it's really not giving anything away, but of course at the he works at the Home Depot. Essentially, it's not called Home Depot, obviously, but and then he uses booby traps to like kill people inside the Home Depot at the end, like the bad guys.
thanks for giving that away.
That's in the previews, man.
Oh no, I'm just kidding on that. You know he kills people in the. I mean, that's what the whole fucking movie's about.
Exactly, and it was all I could think when I was watching it is I was like, you know what they should have titled this fucking movie? Not The Equalizer. They should have titled this Home Depot Home Alone. Son of a, he laid out kitty litter so the fucker would walk on it so we could hear where he was, and then he like dropped down a goddamn like noose made of razor wire and hung the son of a bitch.
Woo.
And I'm like, this is fucking like Home Alone. Like if he's a
Like the
badass,
adult version.
yeah, if he's a badass motherfucker. So I was like, they needed to call this Home Depot Home Alone.
Home Depot Home Alone. I like it.
Starring Denzel Washington. Out June 3rd.
So, I do have to ask your opinion on this because I just had this pop up.
Sodomy is against the law.
Oh, well then.
Is that the question?
All right, next question.
Okay.
What do you think about this kind of shit when this stuff happens? This just popped up. Says cop has girlfriend pulled over on purpose to propose. So it says in Galveston, Texas, a Texas police officer arranged for officers to pull over his girlfriend so he could propose. So he actually had two other police in another squad car pull his girlfriend over, and then he came up afterwards as they were bringing her out of the car and everything like that, because they did the whole nine of saying, "Ma'am, please step out of the car." Like
They should have felony
yeah.
stopped her. That would have been
They
hilarious.
did this kind of shit, and it says the patrol car video shows the officer walk to her window and tell her that she has broken tail light and outstanding warrants. Wolf is then asked to get out of the car. Paris then drives up and walks towards his shocked girlfriend. Wolf realizes that what's happening as Paris gets down on his knee. So he's also in fucking uniform in his own squad car. And this is actually being displayed on the news as like a big romantic gesture.
It's a tough call because yes, it's adorable and romantic and it.
That's a gross misuse of time, and we're paying your
I
salary.
think that's the other aspect of
Why
it.
are you allowing one cop car to be... Aren't you supposed to be protecting and serving, not showing romantic bullshit? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I see as an American and say, seriously, they don't let me slack on anything, so why is the rules changed where they can slack on whatever the fuck they want? Like, did you see in New York, the police were protesting all that bullshit of after the funerals of those two cops?
Yeah.
Where they literally said that we're not going to do anything for a while and let's see what New York feels about it.
Yeah.
So you have people who are still getting paid that aren't doing their job openly, and we're supposed to be okay with that. You took this job, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Nobody said you had to become a police officer. And if you believed him, if they did say it, you're the fucking idiot that shouldn't be having a badge on it because you're too fucking dumb. Like, if you literally think you had to become a cop, I don't want you to be a cop. Because you're going to be the idiot that actually thinks that this is destiny, or that God told you to do this. And that's the kind of shit that really, really bugs me. Because those are the type of people that feel that they can never do any wrong because they were chosen or they were appointed.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of people that I actually just cannot stand whatsoever. And literally, the New York City police officers at this point are acting just like big fucking babies. You have to tell me you love me all the time, or I just don't know how I can live with myself.
Exactly.
Like, literally, the whole police department's like a cutter right now.
Well, they turn their back on him when he's making, like, speeches and shit like
Right.
that. It's like, really, how sophomoric can
Yeah.
you be?
Wait a minute. To protect and serve, isn't that kind of an honor code of to do whether you wanted to do it or not?
That's exactly what that fucking means.
So, aren't you the fuckers that are being a little hypocritical here, saying that nobody else has any kind of a chance? The law is the fucking law. Ignorance is no excuse. If you break the fucking law, we're gonna fucking bust you. And then you come out and say, yeah, we're not gonna enforce the law. Isn't that breaking the law?
Yeah, and so, I mean, what's your gripe, dude? What's your fucking gripe? The gripe is...
Their gripe is that they're like fucking kids on the playground with little skin knees, and somebody saw them crying, and now we're like, hey, you cried, and they went, no, we didn't, nuh-uh.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, they're little fucking bitches right now.
Their whole hatred towards their mayor is based on he criticized them for, what, murdering a dude for not paying cigarette taxes and then
For
not...
murdering a dude and then saying that it was justified, even though you also said he used an illegal chokehold.
Yeah.
Right there. How they came up with an acquittal for the officer is well beyond me.
Well, they didn't acquit him. They didn't even press charges.
Yeah, I shouldn't say
They didn't
acquit.
even indict
Yeah,
him.
I shouldn't say acquit. But
That's the worst part about it.
the whole fact of the matter is that they came out and they said that it was illegal, and they still defended the officer.
Yeah.
As a union right there, you have to go, you're on your own.
What you did was illegal.
Yeah.
So you need to face the full extent
But they say it
of
was
the law.
necessary measures.
It wasn't.
His life was not threatened.
With the fucking 6 other cops that were there
Yep.
to not solving murders, not solving fucking sex traffic crimes.
Not proposing to their girlfriends.
Exactly. And the best part is, you know what, dude? If you want to go after the real cunts raping Uncle Sam for taxes, go arrest every one of them banker bitches
Yeah.
on Wall Street.
Yeah.
Don't choke a dude out on Staten Island for selling Lucy's.
Oh, if they choked out that banker on Wall Street, though,
They would have been indicted.
goddamn right that World War III would have started right there between Wall Street and the New York City police officers. Like, right there, that would have been reformation of just being like, okay, let's see. Either you guys shut down and we're going to hire all new personnel, or we're going to have strict changes around these parts.
And you know what the sad thing is the cops in New York would probably actually get respect if they'd choked out a banker.
From the common people? Holy shit, they would.
Then if they said there'd be no indictment, you wouldn't have rioters in the streets, you'd have celebrations in the streets.
I loved I forget his name, Dave Chappelle episode where they were doing the whole, what would happen if the bankers were treated like drug dealers?
Yeah.
And they did that thing where they kick the door in and the golden retriever is sitting in his bed and just starts wagging his tail and they shoot the fucker like, it's coming at me! They pin him down and then they pin his wife down and start feeling her up and shit. Yeah, I look at that and I just go, how much can you honestly say that the bankers fucked this country? But then again, if you're going to talk about it, the bankers fucked this country out of monetary.
No, them fucking us out of monetary ruined many lives, many marriages, many families.
It did. But it did.
So they did a lot more than monetary damage. How many fuckers killed themselves because they couldn't get out from under their mortgage?
Well, it's the same thing that happens with drugs, but drugs takes you down before it kills you.
That is true.
At least the monetary bullshit, they just squeezed a trigger and it was all over. You didn't have to see them starting to steal from other people. And
Hey.
Mission T-shirts, you coming?
Yeah. Well,
Right.
well, luckily they allow people to file bankruptcy in this country, or else you would see them steal.
Well, I'm just saying, when it comes down to it, they should be treated worse than drug dealers in one aspect, that they do ruin lives just like drug dealers, but they also steal from everyone. I'm still pissed off at the whole aspect that GM and all that shit had bailouts.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate when people say, well, all those jobs. I understand it. There's gonna be some shit that happens. Fuck it. Sorry. That's the nature of the beast.
Well, you say you believe in free market capitalism.
But the deal is, though, think about it this way. If
happens.
GM and Chevy and all that shit close down tomorrow, in a year or so, how much do you think Ford would be in demand? So Ford would be looking at it and going, well, those plants right there have all the shit that we need to make them, so why don't we buy those plants that are already existing and start making cars there?
And but the sad thing about that whole theory is you're 100% right, but it shouldn't be that way, because if we wouldn't have had crony capitalism propping all these companies up, letting them get monopolies, we wouldn't only have 2 car companies. We would have
also
10,
have to look at it this
15
way.
of them.
But you also look at it this way.
Bullshit.
That
and they should have went under.
At least Ford understood how to manage a company.
Ford is a Nazi sympathizer. He can go fuck himself.
What? Well,
I'm talking about
the original was. That doesn't mean that it is.
But anymore. I'm talking about the aspect of Ford is a beneficiary of the crony capitalist system and is bullshit. GM should have went under. Yes, Ford should not have, because they ran a better business model.
They know how.
But the problem is it shouldn't have destroyed our economy if one car company went out of business. How did we become so monopolized in a duopoly with everything? Coke, Pepsi, Ford, Chevy. Why can we not have a plethora of options?
Because nothing is centralized anymore. I mean, there's no...
Or is everything centralized?
No, there's no center to anything. Everything has a hub now. Everything has its own brewery. I mean, if you look at where beer is made, it's not just Anheuser-Busch. Made in Missouri. Or, it's not that kind of shit anymore. Now they have breweries everywhere. So nothing's centralized anymore. Everything has been basically, if you want to say it in a kind of a vast term, everything's a suburb nowadays.
Yeah. Then why are there only 2 fucking epicenters for cars?
Because nobody else could afford to expand as fast as they did. Nobody could make the dealerships as fast or fill them as fast as those 2 companies. So when the other companies started falling by the wayside, either they were A, bought out, or B, just went down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you're talking about Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, now they own Jaguar, they monopolized that corner. It's either you conglomerize with them, or they have a tendency to just beat you down until you die.
Yeah.
And I understand it with vehicles like that because, shit, the better product, the better product.
That is true.
And if somebody thinks you're the better product, they're not even going to look at anything else unless they know that you own it. Like Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, like people would look at that and go, well, it's still a Ford, it's still a Lincoln, it's still a Mercury, it's still owned by that, so they've got to have the same, specifications, or they at least have to make the car up to this.
Yeah.
So you would look at that anyway. So, to me, that aspect of them being the 2 conglomerates, it's only natural selection. I mean, it comes down to it that you can put 20 puppies in one pen. When they get to be older dogs, one's going to rule all of them. You know what I mean? It's just natural way of things. If things grow up, some of them die. Some of them fall behind. Some of them merge. Some of them sell out. It's just the way shit works.
But why don't those conservative capitalists think evolution exists then?
I have no idea, because you can see it in business.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about it. Back in the 30s and 40s, there was over 200 car companies in the United States.
Shit, there was one in St. Cloud here.
Exactly.
Oh, that dude ran a great Ponzi scheme, too.
Because people actually used to do that. They would find out how to make these types of things, and then they would order the parts from these companies, and then assemble the vehicles and sell them. That's literally what a dealership used to be, is two dudes in a garage making a car and saying, yeah, I'll sell you on Thursday. Because everybody talks like that.
See you on Thursday.
So, yeah, there was literally over 200 car companies in the United States in the 30s. You look at it now.
We need more.
You look at it now, though, and these are, like I said, these are the ones that learned how to do it the fastest, the cheapest, the bestest. They made the most dealerships, and they shipped them faster than anybody else.
And they suppressed the most technology. Because you know GM and Ford are the ones that bought up all the patents for goddamn the engines that run on water.
Yeah, you do have to say it, though. Ford did revolutionize everything with
Revolutionize motorsports with the Mustang.
Well, that's not where I was going.
I know.
Good commentary.
Thank you. I'm trying to audition.
Broadcasting school really paid off for you.
I never went to broadcasting school.
Well, then you should have.
That's God-given
I would just tell people, print your own fucking diploma.
Nobody checks up on resumes anymore. All I have to do is fake a LinkedIn account, and they'll believe whatever's on it.
Exactly.
That's as much as people check around. They'll be like, "Oh, he
Your
doesn't."
brother can make a website for you.
Yeah, they'll check first off. Instead of checking your resume, what they always do is they check your Facebook and they check your LinkedIn. As long as
this is strange. www.harvard.com/Jake. Huh. I didn't know they did personalized websites like that.
When you donate as much money
exactly.
to your alma
When you have a
mater,
wing named after you.
they fucking do.
And then the first thing that pops up, he's got a wing named after him.
That's all it says. And what they don't know, it's a goddamn chicken wing on the campus pub.
And that's because I got it on a bet with the owner that I wouldn't stick an extra hot up my ass. Yep.
I was not a
week of burning was worth it.
Yep. He did not want me to ruin ladies' night, but I did.
Oh, ruined my night too.
Ruined my bone.
Oh, that did send a shiver up my spine, and I was the one that said it.
Yeah, you know what always sends a shiver up my spine? Come the revolution.
I didn't see that coming either.
Play,